Today on Mid-Range Game, Brent and I discuss our biggest disappointments of the season, coaches, players, organizations, you name it. Hopefully we didn't disappoint our wives on Mother's Day. Hey, what's up, YouTube? It is Dean and Brent. Brent, how you doing, man? How was your Mother's Day?
It was all right. A little disappointing as our pod is about this today. I got some good stuff. We got the kids, got a couple cards, 2 different cards. One of wood and another one that's a little baby shark card, and they did their thing. But I have 2 gifts that I ordered back in April that were supposed to be here before Mother's Day, and they didn't make it. And I apologized. She said it's okay, of course, and she's waiting patiently, but it's just a little let down, you know what I mean?
I had the same thing happen. We are disappointments to our wives, much like these players and teams. It's unfortunate, but they still love us. We pampered them. My wife had a great day. We just gave her the food she wanted, and she got to relax. So she didn't get to do that too often. But let's get into it. We are talking about our disappointments of the season. We're talking about players, coaches, and organizations. Brent, let's start off with the player that has disappointed us the most. Who let you down?
I'm not going for a giant superstar or a big team or things like that, like you may think I would go for in this segment. There's some obvious players I think out there that are underperforming. I'm going for the Washington Wizards. All right. And it's not Russ and it's not Beal. I mean, Russ is having a legendary season again. Came on late, but he's having a great season. Of course, Bradley Beal's doing his thing. Everybody wants him to be a free agent and come to their team. My issue is with Davis Bertans. All right. Now, Thomas Bryant and Davis Bertans got huge contracts on the offseason saying they're going to be the best part of the supporting cast to Russ and Beal. Thomas Bryant got hurt for the season again late, so I can't make him a disappointment because he's out. But Bertans, 6'10" power forward, doesn't rebound because they just want him out there shooting 3-pointers. He's averaging 11.3 points, 2.9 rebounds. He is shooting 39% from 3 and 40 from field goal, which is actually up because when he first got back from injury this season, early in the season, he couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. All right. He was really killing the team, but he has not been able to live up to what they thought he would be when he first signed that contract, which would be someone that Russ and them could kick the ball out to, could always be there on the offensive side. He's just a big disappointment, especially for that giant contract he signed.
Yeah, for $80 million, you would expect more than 11 points. You definitely need to be in the 15 to 17 range for that.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm with you, man. He could have definitely easily been my pick. But for my pick, I'm heading to South Beach. I'm heading to the team that I don't know if you remember or not, but I picked them to beat the Bucks and go to the.
Oh, you did?
I did pick them. That was me. That was me. But I'm picking the Great White Hope. I'm picking Tyler Hero, man. Tyler Hero, the man that's got his own cereal, man. After 1 year, my man's got his own cereal. He's in rap videos. He's got the Instagram model girlfriends. But let's be honest, man, he's been a disappointment this year. His usage is up. His 3-point percentage has come down to mediocre to average. Last year, he was at 39%. He's down from that. He's only averaging 1 more point and almost an assist more. It's just disappointing, man. I really thought he was going to make a leap. And you would think with the way that he's acting that leap would have come. But hopefully it's just a sophomore slump. Hopefully, Butler and somebody can get to this kid's head and be like, look, man, you haven't made it quite yet. You had a good bubble. You had a good everything basically leading up until the finals because he didn't perform in the finals except outside of 1 game. So Tyler Hero, you're a disappointment.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that because he was actually a bubble hero. The Tyler Hero that showed up in the bubble was huge. We weren't really paying attention to him in the regular season. I mean, the big talk, I think, on their team was Kendrick Nunn that came from the G League and was overperforming, I think. And I heard him more than Hero through the part of the regular season. But then we got close to the bubble and then into the bubble, and all of a sudden Hero was getting interviewed. I'm a walking bucket. I'm a, all this stuff like that, and yeah, he had his Jeremy Lin moment, if you will, in the bubble,
Well,
and he's come back down to earth.
let's hope he can regain that next year. But I don't, unless he has another huge, playoff run in him. We'll see. We'll see. But every year these rookies come in and we have such high hopes. Like, who's really going to stand out from the pack? Who's your biggest rookie disappointment?
I went down the list and I saw my Bulls had the 4th pick. All right. And they got Patrick Williams. And the Bulls as a whole to me have been disappointing, but I just wanted more out of the 4th pick. And I know I sound like a Knicks fan right now, kind of like, oh, no matter, we got a bad. And I didn't boo when they got him. I didn't really know a lot about him. It was more of they thought it was a good pick for where the Bulls were or whatever. But he's got 9 points. He's playing 28 minutes. Kind of underwhelming on rebounds. He's 6'7" power forward, supposed to be a little stretch, do this in there. The way the Bulls are playing, I just want somebody to step up other than Levine.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I was hoping that he would be a good kind of influx of game there, but I mean, sure, defensively he's okay, but other than that, I just want more from the guy. I just want more for the 4th pick.
We're gonna disagree on this, man.
Okay,
we're gonna disagree. I think some Bulls fans are gonna be upset too, man.
Hey.
He's playing behind Markkanen, and they had Carter there. Now they got Vooch. He's 9 points for a rookie is not bad. He plays some defense. He's huge energy. I think he was the surprise of the draft at where he went. But man, I don't know, man. I think I'd take him over my disappointing guy. And my disappointment was the college player of the year.
I was going to pick him.
Obi Toppin is my disappointment.
Yeah, he's big.
8th overall. He's 23, so I thought maybe he would come in and defy the scouts who probably thought he's closer to his ceiling already. Older rookie. He's only getting 11 minutes. He did get injured early, but with his athleticism at his size, I really thought he was going to do more than 4 points and 2 rebounds per game. I really did. Only 0.2 blocks. He kind of looks lost out there. He's got some good energy, but if you go back and watch his highlights, it's really just kind of like a dunk here or there. Like, he really doesn't have a NBA ready offensive game. And yeah, it's been really disappointing. And especially with how Julius Randle is playing and their other center has been out. You thought maybe they'd play a little small ball with him and Julius Randle, but it just hasn't happened. So Obi Toppin, and for Brent, only speaking for Brent picked Patrick Williams. So yeah, I guess he's a disappointment. So Brent, Bulls fans, let me hear it below. What do you think about him calling him a disappointment?
Look, if he shines next year, I'll be like, yeah, see, this year he didn't live up to what he's supposed to do. Next year he'll be good.
You hear that, guys?
I think he got drafted a year early. I think if he would have got drafted the previous year before Thibodeau was there, and that team just had no direction and they were just playing players, young guys, maybe Obi Toppin would have had a better season, but against Tibbs and they're actually playing well, he ain't gonna get any minutes.
You can hear Brent backing out of that choice right about now.
I still support my decision.
All right. Which team do you feel is a disappointment? Which team let you down?
All right, I'm gonna tell you that there's several teams that are not living up to what we thought they would this season, but there's one team in particular that's really just disappointing me. And that is the New Orleans Pelicans. All right. They got the second coming of LeBron or whoever they want to call Zion down there. They traded off Drew Holiday to get Eric Bledsoe, which, I mean, okay. But that was just to, make room for Lonzo Ball to be their main point guard?
Yeah, I think it's just a timeline thing, right? Like, Holiday doesn't fit their timeline.
Right. So they were doing this thing for the future because they got a couple of draft picks. They are draft picks from Milwaukee. So, I mean, it's not like it's going to be a lottery pick, but they are only 31 and 37. They are in 11th spot right now in the West, which means they're not even going to make the play-in tournament. We expected New Orleans to be in the playoffs coming pretty soon. They're going to be one of those scrappy teams you didn't want to see in the 8th seed or something like that. But with the play-in tournament, all they had to do was make the 10th seed. 10th. All you got to do.
Couldn't
All
do
right.
it.
And then you at least got a chance for playoffs. And they're not doing that either. And this is why the New Orleans Pelicans are a disappointment.
I am right there with you. And I'm just going to say, for me, the biggest disappointment was, I guess they brought in Adams to help with defense, but he does not fit again with Zion. He just doesn't fit, man. If you watch their games, it's hand the ball to Zion. He can do something special, but there's Adams' man sitting in the paint because Adams can't, Adams not going to shoot outside of the paint. So it's unfortunate, but Aquaman, you got to go, buddy. You got to go. You got to get out of here.
I think they also brought him there for his like hard play,
leadership,
the attitude, the leadership and attitude he brings. But you're right. He's just clogging up the paint for Zion.
Yeah, 100% agree. For me, I went back to your Patrick Williams team, who I think is doing pretty good. But anyway,
I'm going he's with doing good, but the team's doing bad.
Hey, man, I think he's a pretty decent rookie. But I do feel like the Chicago Bulls went all in, and they too, just like the Pelicans, are on the outside looking in on even the play-in tournament. You had the big splash of the trade deadline. You went all in for Vooch, and you proceeded to lose 4 straight games after that trade. You're 8-14, 2 4-game losing streaks in there since the trade deadline. Zach LaVine having his best season as a pro. You just couldn't meld the two, and then he went out for COVID. It's just, what a disappointment. You went all in. You put all your chips on the table, and you were a disappointment. There's no other way to say it. Maybe next year you incorporate Vooch better and it all works out. But for this year, Chicago Bulls, y'all a disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, the way Vucevic was playing in Orlando, I mean, you bring him into Chicago, you're thinking instant, like, improvement happening. And it's the opposite. And maybe because of a player that has so many different facets to his game, they don't know how to really integrate him with Zach LaVine still needing a bunch of touches. And, but you're right. The Bulls just, I when I saw that trade, I was like, all right. Okay, we got Vucevic, and then it's like, oh, dang, they still bad.
Very true. All right, Brent. So you can blame the players, if they have disappointing, they come in out of shape, or they just don't look like they're giving it all. But we have to hold some team management, including coaches, accountable as well. Which coach and GM team let you down the most?
All right, so this one may be more controversial than what you think the Patrick Williams pick was.
Impossible.
Because the fans of this particular organization believe that I think that some people may have seen this person walk on water and heal the sick, raised from the dead.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And same with the GM president, and that is the Boston Celtics going after Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge. All right. Brad Stevens, everybody, think he's the greatest coach, and he is a good coach, but you had this team where they were young, scrappy, lost Hayward and Kyrie, and still fought their way through the playoffs and ended up playing LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. And you're like, oh my God, these guys are fighting, they're scrappy, well coached. And since then, they added Kyrie, they've moved certain people around. They've been losing players without getting anyone back. They lost Kyrie without getting anyone back, Hayward without getting anyone back. And so you keep on losing these top players. You had all these draft picks before that he could have combined these guys to get them out of there for something else. So Ainge hasn't been getting the future set very well for Boston, as they gave him credit for previously when he was getting these other young guys to the team. And Brad Stevens, I just think he's kind of lost his voice.
All right, guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed it, click the subscribe button. If you're listening on the podcast, rate, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We certainly appreciate your time. We have fun making these. So check out the last video here. You can subscribe over there. It's probably backwards, but there's stuff there. I guarantee it. I'm Dean. That's my main man, Brent. We'll see you next time.